Thank you. Thank you.
Aside from the hanging out, how was your weekend?
The hanging out, you know. When I woke up in the morning, I felt so bad. Not a hangover or anything. Because I had been doing, what's that thing that we do? Instagram Live.
Yeah.
Huh. When I went back to watch the Instagram.
I saw yourself bending down, dancing.
Shame, no game. Then you now proceeded to watch everything.
Oh, start to finish.
I was so ashamed. I said, gay, I need to delete all this nonsense.
Something that happened, my husband had a good laugh. You know, there was a time where you and Uncle Theo were kissing. He says, poor Uncle Theo, why he almost snapped his head off his neck?
I don't know when you and your husband were dancing, I said, let me go and look at my own husband. Inside live video.
Come and see me here. I just didn't say anything.
Yes,
Please, so let me listen to some music. Happy birthday, darling.
Uncle
Theo!
Today.
Yes.
So
what are you planning for him?
I'm planning any.
No cake.
Don't want me.
I
don't cake. I don't cake.
Small chops.
What is it with this?
No
I don't
small
want
chops.
anything, baby. Tomorrow is
Call our...
He said, look, he specifically gave me a serious warning. A serious warning. Because the last time I tried surprise when he walked out of the surprise.
Okay, where is he this morning? Let me call Legend.
He's in Freedom Park.
Okay, I'll send Legend to him.
I don't know what
is that?
No,
What is that? He has to have small chops. What is that? How are you doing, Nima?
I'm fine. I'm just wondering, since they've given me to the memo, just prayers tomorrow. So we pray. Says, I just want
your husband's birthday is tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh,
really?
wow.
So
we are on the show tomorrow now.
Just say happy birthday.
Shout-outs.
Just pray for me.
No, just family.
There's a pre-birthday shout-out.
He doesn't want it.
Birthday shout-out.
No, I'm not doing it.
My friend.
So he and Uncle Theo are like back to back.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And my close friend
My best friend,
is 25th. On Thursday is 60. And then my friend Dapo is 27th.
Okay. They said that we should stop talking about
No,
birthday.
sorry, 26th.
No more birthday shout-outs. Why people start calling us now?
Ajulu is 27th. This month is full.
This weekend.
My shout-out
This
is
week, sorry.
about Muriel.
Me?
At the hangout.
Oh, what are you about to
Muriel was, she was just well-behaved, you know.
Let's move on to Mara. Don't even start any conversation there because we all just...
See,
it's a freedom park.
Did you remember? There was just Mariah could not stand up.
No, that's not correct.
It's on the video.
That's not accurate. That's
Well,
not
Okay,
now
so I
she
have
does.
this shout out.
Anyway.
So you guys, you know I'm an ambassador for Saving Vultures.
Yes,
And
yes.
Nigerian Conservation Foundation, in collaboration with the Save the Vulture campaign.
Right.
We have a documentary that will be premiering tomorrow. And the documentary is just, to show, to bring awareness on the importance that the vultures play in our ecosystem and our environment, and to enlighten us and to educate us. So I'm inviting you ladies and everyone, you can come to the venue or join the link which you'll find on my page.
Let me ask you a stupid question.
No.
So, do we have vultures in
Nigeria.
Where they are, in that conservation center, that forest? We have vultures there.
I used to see vultures in the north, Chakano, Kaduna.
Yes.
I was
But
sure
the
they
numbers are much reduced now.
Are they killing them?
Yes.
They're eating them?
They're
eating
them,
something that eats human being?
They're using them
Rituals?
for rituals.
Yes, Africans, we have this myth around
So,
that.
yes.
So since you're
And then
announcing...
also, vultures are looked at as bad birds or evil
Because
birds.
they
You just kill them
Like an
just to kill them. But
Because
they
they're
are actually
scavengers.
very important to our...
So me, I have... Let me just
protect us
announce.
from diseases, like all this pandemic we have and everything. If we have vultures to eat up the disease before it spreads into our water and into our land.
So there's a business startup training organized by the Siblings Group. Siblings is Sisters in Business, and a group I belong to. So follow my page for the registration for 200 young business startup women. If you're interested, follow my pages. I already posted, and register. Then you can also get if you're close to me, you can get a sponsored registration, which is private. So we're doing that before Ramadan.
We have to run off.
Startup businesses.
So, Mariah, you don't remember yourself that day?
No. It was
don't
actually...
want to talk about it.
It's on Instagram.
So we're running out.
We have to run. That's all we can take. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Let's move on, starting now with the nation. Akeredolu to Igboho. Others and other separatists, stay clear of Ondo. Northwest governors issue vacate forest order to bandits. Churches, schools raise in Kwara hijab violence. Forex transactions move to IE window. Wakili, Oyo youth demand release of their 3 OPC members. And why Autumn ran after attack by aid. Okay, let's start with the major headline. Governor Akeredolu of Ondo.
So the popular Sunday Igboho has started this separatist movement about the Yoruba nation and all of that. And I love the fact that the SCA, governor of Ondo State, decided to establish the legal position, saying that all those your separatist movements keep within the borders of Ondo. Don't bring it here. We're not, the Ondo people have, clearly voted to be within the nation called Nigeria, and they would love to remain. And he did not deny the elements or the factors that Sunday Igboho will be considering to say, they should move out of the entity called Nigeria. He says, yes, those things, those factors exist, and they're working to find justifiable means to settle every grievance that people have. And that doesn't mean we should now separate. So in Ondo State, that they're doing everything possible to ensure that those abuses are curbed and that they would rather remain. Right. And I'd love that each governor take a stand now, because, this is how the separatists start. Yes. The other one started the other day. He's no longer an Ijaw man. He's now a Biafran. And the Ijaw people don't even know where he stands. People just, start these things for different agendas.
I like what he has said, because we should stop this promoting division in Nigeria, promoting war. That's why our theme for celebration this year is Viva Nigeria. You like it or you don't like it, we are doing it because none of us can take war. None of us. We don't know what war is. But I was going to go to Autumn.
Yeah, okay. I was going to take a related story with that, because the young boys, the OPC boys who had actually arrested Wakili, remember they were released on bail, but now they've been rearrested, and obviously the Barakwa boys, and now they are being accused of arson, I think murder, and a few other allegations there, and the people are actually protesting, saying that it is wrong for them to continually arrest these boys when the real culprit Wakili they're still waiting for them to bring evidence. But you're now saying that you've arrested 3 young men who actually went to do the job to arrest Wakili. So that's what the protest is about.
Let's take Autumn's story.
Yes, go ahead.
He said he was on his way to his farm. He had gotten out of the car to walk to his farm. It was on the way back. No, I was on the way to the farm that the herders, bandits, not herders. The bandits attacked them, and then he ran all the way 2 kilometers back to his car. So why I brought up that story is, you see, he is only just going through. He's lucky he had people to protect him. If you or I go to our farm, we are gone. We are gone. He had people to protect, because people are saying, oh, it was an assassination attempt. I do not believe it was an assassination.
No, but the
people who actually did
people that did it,
taking responsibility.
No. Those people. Who are they? Have you ever heard of them?
Is it the Fulani group?
Have you ever heard of them? I've never heard of them.
What's it called?
Fulani.
I've never heard of them.
And they warned him that next time they won't miss.
The name was signed, and Umar Shehu signed it for that.
The faceless person, Abi.
Well, we'll see. Let's take that other hijab story.
I'm just saying that if we go to our farms, we are not protected. He is protected because they repel the
apparatus of the state.
Let me quickly pick this story, because now the Northwest governors are deciding now to take action. They've declared that nobody should be occupying the forest around the Northwest states. Bello Masari of Katsina State was speaking on their behalf, saying that they've decided to declare a state of emergency and fight banditry to a stop. They're ready now to do that. I'm wondering, okay, you know where they've been, but if you have decided to fight now, let's have that. They're asking everybody to leave the forest, go back to their base, and everybody still occupying the forest will be treated as a bandit, and action will be taken on the person.
I think it's a move in the right direction.
Another story that would have been related to that in the Punch. Should we wait till you take that?
Go ahead, take it. Go ahead.
Okay. So CAN, as well as Arewa Consultative Forum, of course, have spoken up against that particular that particular attack on the Benue State governor. And they're also saying that they expect that these people should be found and prosecuted. I mean that they are also disappointed. They see that up till now they haven't arrested anyone yet, and so they are asking that it should be done. And then particularly this group, this Fulani group, was saying that for them they are doing this to oppose any state or any governor that stops or comes in the way of the Ruga settlement that that they have been proposing, and so that's why they are going from one place to the other to do this. And I hope that these people are caught, because
they have a name.
I don't think they are faceless, and I don't think that they are.
All right, let's move on to the punch. We have to run. We have to run. Unfortunately,
these are people that
arrest hit squad now. Can ACA top police security agency silent? I think we talked about that now. 132 paraded for impersonating PTF officials. Murder calls him in Lagos. FG orders immediate resumption of domestic flight catering services. Don't set Nigeria on fire over hijab, PFN tells Abdul Razak. INEC plans online voter registration attacks and targets 16 million Nigerians. APC National Convention's June date shaky, postponement imminent. Okay, let's, which story are we taking
Kwara State.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, so sadly, these conversations about hijab and the schools has taken a violent turn. People went out in the streets yesterday with their masks on. They had cutlasses, machetes, and were attacking people, throwing rocks at, burning churches, throwing rocks at schools, attacking people's shops, attacking people. People had to quickly lock up their shops and run away. And it was alleged that that group was like the Muslim group that wanted that hijab to be worn. Meanwhile, there's also another group, the Christian group, in protecting, as it was reported, in protecting themselves, had to, they also came out. And the PFI, and that's Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, is asking the governor to please quickly step in so that this does not, become something, well, it has already become right now.
Snowballed into something else. Okay, another story there.
INEC, saying that they'll start registration online now for 2023 elections, saying that they want to, as much as possible, reduce crowding. So they'll do online registration, and people will only go to the INEC offices for capture of data and their faces. And I remember that they had said that to be a continuous voters registration after the elections in 2021, but we didn't see that until date. They've not even started that.
Exactly.
But now they are saying it in the papers that they want to start registration. I'm saying that it's almost impossible. They should immediately start it now and let it be continuous till the elections come.
So that there are no crowds.
Yes.
People will go. People like me will go in. I don't want to queue forever. So why do we make things painful for ourselves?
And then when it gets closer, there's always that point, possibility of corruption. They will be made to pay.
They should not have even closed the
portal at all.
Yes. People should have been allowed to vote.
I was going to take these.
And anyway, if you have NIN, you can vote.
Abi?
Why can't they just link everything together?
Yes, so Nigerians are ready to register.
Yes, now.
We want to vote in the
You have made us do NIN. Why can't we use NIN as voter's card and go and vote?
True. They will be surprised the amount of Nigerians that will come forward to vote.
Yes.
No, they make it painful. So it's only their own people that can vote.
So they can control the number. All right, our final story in the paper punch. Happy news for the catering companies who service airlines. They've given an order that the federal government has ordered immediate resumption for the catering services within flights. So hopefully now when you travel, domestic flights, you can actually get something to eat.
Something to eat. Or something to carry along to bring to the kids.
Yeah.
Most people don't eat this.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the papers. We're going to move on to Daily Sun. Defense Minister raises the alarm over terror attacks. Says Nigeria in their situation will have peace again, says Chief of Defense Staff. 2023, Igbo youths vow to resist attempt to deny zone presidency. Constitution review, state creation, local government reforms, others top reps agenda. ISWAP, U.S. Pentagon leads 112 ISIS attacks in Nigeria. PDP, Nigeria sliding into irredeemable crisis. And agitations for new wage. FG vows to match salary increase with productivity. Okay, let's start with the constitutional review story.
As we know, the House of Reps, there's also a committee that has been set up to review the 1999 Constitution. And the Deputy Speaker for the House of Reps, talking to the committee members, is charging them to, do their best and make sure that all that is required for a better Nigeria is what that they try and put forward. He says what is required to improve our electoral system and participation, issues of judicial reform, and also issues that have to do with local government reform. He says that a lot of the things that have to do with insecurity, banditry, at that level of local government, if local government performs the way it's meant to be, most of these issues will be settled. And then he also says some of the things that will be seen will be greater women participation in politics. So he's just saying that all this need to be done, and all those in the committee is an opportunity for them to write their name in gold. So we just hope that at the end of this review, we'll have a better, a more reflective, time-reflective constitution.
Right,
and
okay.
our defense minister again.
Yeah, go ahead, Waiki.
Is at it again. He says that Nigeria is in a critical state. He was talking at a summit, and he said, this summit is coming at a sobering time in the life of our dear nation, a time when merchants of violence are threatening to tear the foundation of our nation.
Okay.
And he's now calling on all stakeholders to put heads together, and hopefully we will come out of this.
Okay, so the U.S. Pentagon is saying that they've warned that ISIS is taking over swaths of Africa like it did in Syria. And according to them, they said that the attacks are staggeringly brutal, according to them. According to them, they said the group's expansion and regrouping on the continent shows Islamic State is far from being defeated. And they're worried because Nigeria tops, I think it was number 112 of the 517 attacks that's happened between January 1st and March 17th. Nigeria was number 2 with 112 attacks being claimed by ISIS, and then even the ISIS, that's Islamic State West Africa province, that's a chapter of ISIS, and that's a really scary update.
Isn't that supposed to be Boko Haram?
God forbid what is happening in Syria, in this country, or in any part of Africa. For that
Moving on to Vanguard. I mean, right now I'm not so interested in what happened in Syria and Iraq. I feel like going to go and study, because I feel like
Africa should
it's
have
replaying itself, and we need to know how to handle
major
this.
concern. What we are paying for now, Africa should have made what happened in Libya post Gaddafi of major concern. We should have been discussing, in fact, AU countries should have been trying to prevent that lack of peace in Libya, because that's what we are paying for across the
region. My own is that it shouldn't escalate, because Nigeria were 200 million people. The whole of Africa will not be normal again if Nigeria should scatter.
Moving on to Vanguard.
Let's pray for peace.
Insecurity, Nigeria in critical situation. Defense Minister Waiki took that story already. Buyers react as FG concludes sale of 57 marginal oil fields. Many Supreme Court decisions no longer make sense, says Justice Rotzviver. Nigeria develops 2 coronavirus vaccines and awaits clinical trials certification. Anti-open grazing law. Ondo Amotekun nabs 9 herders, seizes 100 cattle. An economy in dire straits over insecurity. So Nigeria's vaccine,
yes, so
that's the one I will take.
That's the one I will
take it.
So the chairman of the PTF has said that 2 Nigerian scientists have developed vaccines that are, that are presently undergoing clinical, what they call it, research and all of that, to, before they can be ruled out as valid. I'm happy to hear the news. I will wait for the final result of it, and I would rather take my chances with the Nigerian vaccine. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I will be speaking Hausa or Igbo. I will learn when I take the vaccine. I will just start to speak Hausa or Igbo.
Anyway, whatever.
Not only
It doesn't mean that vaccines but we've had a history. Our vaccine research in the past had always been good. We have a good history. I would say past government deliberately killed.
I will take it proudly.
Polo mentality killed.
If they allow me, I'll be in the forefront. Nigerian vaccine, I will go and put my hand.
Yes,
nothing will happen.
No problem. We are in this together. No problem.
It was.
Let me take the story from
a woman of many tongues.
No, Waiki. Are you? Don't diss our vaccine.
I said the worst. This one that they are saying people are dying up and
They're
down.
not dying,
No.
They say
EU
that
have
people are
said
getting.
it is safe. World Health has come to say
it
it's
is
safe. They've come
safe.
out and said it's safe. So we are good to go. There's no
The
issue.
the good news about
the
it is
AstraZeneca vaccine that we have here is
yes.
different from the one they are taking in America.
I don't have
The
that
Pfizer
report.
one was researched and created by a Nigerian, one of the major doctors was
One
a
of the
Nigerian.
yes, we
So
heard the story.
let's
Nima.
just
Thank you for reminding us.
I will take
Okay.
the Nigerian one. Nothing will happen.
No,
That's the
nobody
one
is
that
saying
I
anything will happen.
Well, are we taking the Nigerian one? Is it an injection or is it agbo form?
It doesn't matter.
I hope it's Agbo.
Yeah.
In Agbo
Okay, let's
form.
move on. I was a story I wanted to take. I can't remember the story again. Okay, yes. So my in-law, retired Justice Rhodes Vival yesterday clocked 70, and during his valedictory speech, he said that there are some presidents that are clearly out of date and should no longer be followed. He's of the view that presidents that no longer make sense anymore are outdated. Shouldn't follow. According to that, there's a legal term that makes lawyers actually refer to cases as precedents, and he's saying that these precedents are some precedents are evil, that they are wrong, that they are outdated, and we should not even totally be replicating them continuously, especially in modern times.
I'd rather expect that, this, because the whole bench in the Supreme Court are members of them, and the appeal court, so they are the people of the benchers and all of that, they could have this conversation in-house and continue to review precedents that would rely on.
I can almost bet he's probably been trying, but this is his validatory service opportunity to just say once and for all.
Should I just talk about the Speaker of the House of Reps, Femi? Yes, is saying that this insecurity is going to wreak havoc on our economy. I think he has already done that. Yes. And he's saying that there needs to be long-term socio-economic framework that everybody accepts and is on board with, that will carry us, and protect us from the fall of our economy, especially in the times where oil prices we see keep falling. That there's also a need to create like a loan for post-oil economy. So basically it's just saying that we need to start thinking long-term, because with the rate of falling prices, insecurity, the economy will force our hands in ways that we will not be happy about.
Right.
So the picture story in the Vanguard of the cattle arrested by Amotekun in Ondo State in enforcing their anti-open grazing law. You can see the cattle on the express. So this one is not, we should stop bringing sentiment. They have laws in Ondo State against open grazing. How can your cattle come and block traffic, So they were arrested by Amotekun.
Okay, let's take this day.
The cows were arrested. The owners ran away.
No, the others too were arrested.
No, in the Tribune, it says the owners ran away.
Okay, let's move on to this day. Major headline, NNPC pushes back, says new refinery will cost FG about $12 billion. That's in comparison to the $1.5 billion they wanted to use to refurbish. Yes,
let me take this story. So the group managing director of the NNPC, in a very, very strong defense for the renovation of our revamping of our refinery at Port Harcourt, said that, it will cost us between $7 billion and $12 billion to even have a refinery the standard of Port Harcourt's refinery, and it's cheaper to spend $1.5 billion to revamp it, and so that we don't continue to import oil. I'd like to rely on what Obiajulu said. I think she was sitting here yesterday talking about how many revamping of the refineries had been done and how many times they've been budgeted to be revamped and all of that. And we've seen that this is a conduit for loss. We need a new refinery. We cannot have over $30 billion sitting in our external reserve and have a national problem. The standard of the one we have here, we continue to rely on what we have locally being refined and imported back into the country at a very, very exorbitant cost that affects our economy so much. And we have somebody, the head of a parastatal in this country, defend that this is not a number one priority for the country. Take away that, even if it's the whole $30 billion, build us a refinery and stop importing a product that God gave us freely in this country and cause hardship for people.
Oil is one of the smallest things that they produce here and then we import. Fish. They will carry the fish from our sea and then they will import it back to us.
Can you imagine to eat?
To eat. Fish, common fish.
All right, so let's...
So the people that have been ruling Nigeria for the past 60 years,
the defense went yesterday.
They are not...
We're saying it.
They should all just
the
keep quiet.
President should be aware of this. All our national assembly, it is of urgent need that we have a refinery of our own in this country.
Oil.
if they are already under all the others.
Groundnut oil.
But we had a conversation on this yesterday.
Even sesame seed, they come and pick our seed here. Then they bring the oil back. We'll go and buy it expensively.
We had a conversation on this yesterday, and there are different issues, and we'll continue to have that conversation because people are saying privatize, people are saying we can't afford to have one, but right now we have the economy already is in shambles, and we can't afford to buy a whole.
The Port Harcourt refinery, the people that remove the nuts and bolts, so put it back once it is privatized.
So the these arguments, what I'm trying to say is, why is it that we Africans, we take the things that we have that grow naturally by, we are given it to us by God, we sell it to them cheaply and then buy it back expensively. Why do we do that?
We had an arrangement with the country that refines. Someone said we had an arrangement with the country that refines our crude oil.
We have to move on.
We refine our crude oil, leave all the byproducts for that country, and still buy so expensively, and it affects dollar, affects exchange, everything in this country. And the hardship we can see.
There are various factors. We don't even have the capacity at the right now to even. Can we Nigerians by ourselves? And this we're trying to encourage modular refineries. They told us yesterday it's actually just a stopgap. It's not. It cannot actually meet all the needs for Nigerians. So there are different factors. We continue to have this conversation.
$12 billion we need for a proper.
We have to roll.
Go and take it from external reserve. Stop keeping external reserve. We are suffering.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we talk to our friends from Roadland Properties. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the show is Faith Inako, who is the head corporate communications, Roadland Properties and Allied Services. Welcome to the show, Faith. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning. Thank you for having me once again.
Good to have you. Now, so tell us again, what are the various packages that Roadland is still offering our viewers, especially the Freedom City? I'm really interested in the Freedom City package.
Roadland Properties is still offering affordable real estate services to as many who are interested and as many who are willing to join in. We currently are having our Roadland Provest, which is really selling fast. We have Roadland Provest available for Freedom City Estate, like you mentioned, at Ibejuleki. We have it available for Greenleaf Estate, also at Ibejuleki, and we also have it available for our Preston City Estate at Kobakbe, Abeokuta. Freedom City Estate is our latest estate. It's at Ibejuleki, Ise, precisely. Freedom City Estate is in a very flat place. It has a great topography, and it is selling fast and selling out. Freedom City is available for Roadland Provest at 150,000 naira monthly for 9 months. You know, I stumbled upon a news this week about the seaport that is opening in Lagos very soon in 2023, and I'm just excited about the opportunities that are available for as many who key into Ibejuleki right now, because this just means that Lagos is really going to boom in a way that I'm pretty sure would never have imagined. So Freedom City is available for Roadland Provest, Greenleaf Ibejuleki is available for Roadland Provest, and Preston City Kobakbe is available for Roadland Provest.
Okay, Faith. Some of these estates, when they are selling, they don't distinguish what areas they have within the estates. So is it entirely residential?
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly.
Is Roadland Estate, are your estates so entirely residential, or they have areas where they can have commercial? So some people would like to have their shops in front of their house. Some people would like to run, what kind of estate? What are the features within the estate that will attract?
We have estates that are residential estates, and we have estates that are commercial estates. For Freedom City, for example, Freedom City affords you the luxury of residential and commercial purposes. All our estates are estates that we are making sure are secured. There's perimeter fencing, street lights, recreational centers for as many estates that are for residential, or providing recreational centers for those estates. But if one is looking for freedom to have both a commercial service in an estate, Freedom City is that estate that allows you that luxury. It gives you the freedom to have commercial outlets.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you said like one is 150,000 a month for 9 months. Is that all you will pay, or after you've paid that 150,000 for 9 months, you will still now pay the balance?
There are no extra payments. So the 150,000 naira every month for 9 months covers the land and your documentation. So at the end of 9 months, you are guaranteed a land. So you're becoming a landowner. You are the owner of that land.
So if I can gather that whole 9 months money and pay it at once, will I still have the land?
It's still yours. But what we like to do, like I said earlier, Roland Provest is for the people who would like to, it's a saving and investment platform. So we'd advise that people who are going for Roland Provest are people who are willing to spread that payment for 9 months. And we also have other options. If you have the money available, you can also make outright payments on those deals. On outright payments, you actually get up to 10% discount when you make that payment. So we make sure that we have flexible payment plans. We have the 6 months payment plan. We have the 12 months payment plan. We have 18 months. We have 24 months. We have outright payments. So at the end of the day, you get to pick however which way you want to become a landowner.
Okay, Faith, it says here that Roland Provest helps you save up to 22% if you are purchasing from Greenleaf Estate and 13% from Freedom City. How much would it have been if you were not getting the Provest plan? So how much exactly, in what way are we saving? How could you help us understand in what way we're saving this 22% and this 13% you're talking about?
For the Freedom City, for example, if you are going for the normal payment plans, Freedom City would cost you about 1.5, they're about 1.5, 1.6. But with Roland Provest, you're not paying up to 1.5. You're paying about 1.3, 1.2. You're paying 1.2, 1.3, thereabouts. So it saves you that amount of money when you are doing that Provest.
So when we hear Ibejuleki, we're not really sure, or just know Ibejuleki is far. We don't really know exactly. So could you give us an idea how far? Is it after the Eleko Beach? Is it after the Pan Atlantic University? Or is it before there? Is it near Ekpe? Where exactly is this Ibejuleki?
The part of Ibejuleki where we are is very in close proximity with Dangote refineries. It's not too far from Dangote refinery. Definitely not close to Ekpe.
I don't know where that is.
Okay.
I don't know where Dangote is. So give me another landmark.
Another landmark we can use is the proposed seaport, if you know where that is. Another landmark is the La Campagne Tropicana.
Right.
La Campagne Tropicana is farther off from the
Now you are talking.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Great. Is there any other interesting thing?
So, yes, one more thing I want to ask. So this property, is it the house or is it just empty land?
Land now, Waiki.
Let me know.
We have land, and the interesting thing is we also, due to other services that we also offer building construction. So after buying this property from us, if you want to further with us by building, we can also help you carry out that service.
Is it the same 150 for 9 months to build?
No, that's an entirely different package.
Okay, so but let me ask you a question. Once we have the land, you know, there's always issue of the C of when the time you get your C of O, and also the fencing of that land to say it's mine. Because are you going to help us with that, or do we have to come around to fence it to at least to know that this is my allocated portion?
When we, upon allocation, we mark out the land for each owner. So what we do is, as we allot the land to you, your names are written on every panel. So you don't need to bother about locating what portion of the land is offered to you, because we have gone as far as making sure that these lands are marked out for you. So anyone who is passing by, anyone who decides to come visit, can boldly see your name written on it. And the estates, some of our estates are already fenced and gated. So there's security that ensures that nobody is coming to take any land from you.
Let's talk about square meters, your measurement. So how many square meters is a full plot within your estate? And when you talk about developing the plots that you have, what standard of development would you allow? Because in essence, if they are not uniform, but the leg will come, I can use my house to prepare them gang, that kind of thing. So do you have a uniform kind of housing that you want, a particular kind of design that your architect has, given?
The beautiful thing about Roland Properties is we allow you the freedom. We make sure we do not put with so many restrictions, because each and every one of us have dreams. We have our desires. We have what we want our houses to look like. The only standing rule that we have in the estate is we're definitely not allowing you have a face me, I face you, like they call it. And the plot sizes are 600 square meters, full 600 square meters.
600, okay.
Yes, I also would like to know, like, how many houses or how many buildings per estate? Is it a very densely populated estate? Is it, would it be spread out? What kind of estate would it be in that sense?
So for the estate sizes and number of buildings that we have put in, we try to make sure that it's not too populated, because it's an estate. We don't want it to end up looking like an ordinary place. So it's densely populated. It's not crowded. Not a crowded estate.
Okay.
Okay, I just have one statement. May God give us the money to buy the property in Roland.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Right, thank you very much.
I didn't even say amen.
It's very affordable, and amen to that.
Thank you very much, Faith. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
For everyone who is watching,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
for everyone who is watching, if you'd like to, you can contact us. You can visit our website, www.rolladproperties.com. You can also put a call through to 070-2500-4785, or you can call 070-2500-4784. We are available on WhatsApp. You can reach out to us on any of this number, and you are well on your way to becoming a landowner.
Thank you very much, Faith. All right, that's all we can take. When we come back, we'll move on to all the hot topics of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, last Thursday in Ekiti, the newly appointed chairman of the Nigerian National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Buba Marwa, in a remark at a public function said, young Nigerians will soon be required to obtain drug-free certificate from the agency before getting married. Now, what are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948, or you can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. All right, so he had said that he would propose that men or young people getting married should actually get a drug test. Insist that their parents must put them through that first. Others are saying, okay, that's a good idea, but what's even more important is they should actually be taking drug tests before they take any WAEC examination or even come into schools at all. These are areas because the kids are using it. But what are your thoughts? Do you think it's right for him to suggest that we actually ask intending married couples to take drug tests? Right?
I do not agree with him.
Okay.
I do not. That's against my fundamental human rights. For me to marry, that means I'm above 21.
Okay.
The legal age.
An adult, okay.
I'm an adult.
Is 18?
Oh, 18. Whatever.
Exactly.
If 18 is even worse. But I'm giving them 21. And then you're telling me, before I marry, I must take a drug test. That's you are infringing. If you want to catch me for taking drugs, catch me for taking drugs. Don't say it's a criteria for me to do before I... No.
Well, many churches
if you say, sorry, Mariah, if you say students should take it before their exams, fine. That's They are even, that's below the legal age.
Yeah,
so I agree with that. But because I want to marry.
So now let's go back to why he's saying that. Because of what he has seen, the experiences he has seen. Because if they would
he only became drug enforcement 2 months
quite
ago.
recently, but in these 2 months we've seen a lot of arrests, cocaine, trafficking. We've seen quite a bit of it happening. So from what he has seen, he's saying, listen, parents, these things are happening. Maybe it's time for us to begin to test these children before they get married. But let me come to you.
Disagree with YK that, you know, we are a consuming nation now, and we know every of these substances that are under our laws illegal to consume are being consumed in our country, and in their fight, any method that is legal to be used can be used. So even if you are above 18, above legal age, you should know better. And if you consume these, substances, you should, if a milestone, marriage exam or anything requires that you're tested and it is found in your system, it's even going to aid investigations. I personally believe that those tests would reduce this, abuses.
If they find you guilty, will they now stop your marriage?
No, I don't even understand. Nima, where are you coming from? This is not. You are talking from your religion, your religious point of view. Because in an Islamic state, I would agree with that. You know where you are born.
I'm not coming from an Islamic point of view.
My freedom.
This is completely a legal point of view. Cocaine and all other drugs, intoxicating substances are banned in this country. They are illegal to be consumed in this country. And we know that they carry out their raids. When they arrest a person, that person can be tried for either trafficking or consuming or using, those substances. So if they add the tests to every person, every adult person found to be in consumption of any such illegal substances, they can proceed and prosecute the person. And it should be
That's
a requirement.
possession.
Wait, now, YK. Wait, they can proceed and prosecute that person. Let me explain why I am saying this. We have a level of insecurity now that you cannot in any way, separate from the use of some of these substances. Most people carry out actions that you wonder if a person in a normal mind can go ahead and do it.
But the question is, why is marriage involved? Why does that?
I don't understand those.
Please don't deceive me, don't deceive me.
Excuse me, first and foremost, sorry, Miriam, I know you need to talk. I'm sorry, but I just have to answer her. See, first and foremost, people who take drugs, you hardly find them marrying because they are too high anyway to even be thinking of marriage. That's number one. Now, I'm not taking drugs. My partner is not taking drugs. Then you tell me I must by force. Because you are who?
No. What are you afraid of?
This is no.
You are not consuming.
This is not a dictator. A dictatorship.
I don't consume it. But I'd rather not jam somebody that is deceiving me.
That is not against my fundamental human rights.
To marry somebody, that person should show and go and do. Just as the person was required to do blood group and HIV test. Because I don't want to marry into a situation I cannot handle.
For me too, I have questions about the legality of it, which is
very legal
by fundamental human rights. At
exactly.
what point can you ask for that? But I also can understand it on a point where you say you're advising parents that, when you make those your list of bring goat, bring cow, bring rice and beans, put at the end of it that also you'd like to see a certificate certifying that this person is not a drug user. Because, and for me, I think this is coming from saying this because of experience of many young people who have gotten into marriages, and there's domestic violence. And one of the reasons also that has been attributed to it is drug use. You end up with your young, beautiful daughter or your young son ends up with a spouse, and then we hear all sorts of things happen, and when you investigate a bit further, oh, this person, it's just shisha he's taking. No, it's just shisha she's taking. Oh, no, it's just pot. Before you know it, further investigation shows that they are involved in serious drug taking. So I can understand it as an advice to parents. Maybe you should also make that as one of the requirements you make when you're asking for someone's hand in marriage. That's on the other side. There's so many things that he's done since he has. There's so many stories concerning drug busts that he's done since he got in. But I would really like for the touchlight and the searchlight to be on those who sell, suppliers of the thing, because the users of the thing, that's on the one hand, but the suppliers of the thing, that is where the impact will be most felt. If you kill it there, where will the people who are using it get it?
Miriam, you see the worst part? The people that supply it do not even take it. Because if they were taking it, they would be taking.
But people
they will be taking everything. They will be taking everything. They will not have power to sell because they have smoked everything or drank everything or whatever they do with it. They will not. Do you understand what I'm saying?
They don't consume what they sell.
They will.
They have the mindset.
So go and if you want to go and look for people, go and look for the suppliers. You are right. But when are you going to? Because okay, I will find it highly insulting if I am not a drug taker and I want to go for a marriage certificate and you tell me, oh, you must do drug tests before. What? My human rights as a human being? What are you talking about? This is not a military dictatorship.
I think so. Therefore, I think what we are all saying, therefore, is that yes, you are right. We shouldn't make it a law. But if a family says, "I will insist on your spouse to take a drug test," that's a personal decision by the family.
Exactly.
The same way churches and some must say you must do HIV tests before we can do begin marriage counseling. Before we even marry you. So these are individual decisions made.
Do psychological because excuse me. Some people have coin. They are not taking drugs, but they have no coin. Are you going to say as a law now? I'm going to say, do you walk with the left leg or the right leg?
I want to do.
What are you saying?
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right
back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still on this conversation. Yes, before the break, Nima was going to respond.
I was going to respond. So I don't believe that a law that bans or requires us to take a drug test before some of our any landmark event is against any of our fundamental human rights. Under the Constitution, as it is, all our fundamental human rights are qualified. So your right to life is qualified if you commit a crime. Your right to freedom of movement is qualified. Everything is qualified and can be, enforced by a court order or a law to stop or be curtailed. So you can be stopped from movement, you can be stopped from anything as long as it's in the Constitution.
While they are at it,
wait now.
Before you finish, while they are at it, before we celebrate our birthday, they should do, every year before we have birthday, they should do drug tests.
Is your driver's license not due on your birthday?
Could we erase all our fundamental human rights?
We need to fight, drugs abuse.
Excuse me.
We need to fight it because it is the basis for every of our criminality that we see around. Some people carry out actions that they cannot do in their normal eye under drug. And we know this country is now a consuming nation.
So therefore, Nima, what you're saying is that maybe the fact that he was targeting marriages is not the right approach. Because YK is not against it when people are saying we can take a drug test before you come into schools, right? It's okay for you to take a drug test.
Requiring you to do a drug test.
The suggestion for marriage is the issue.
Wait, it doesn't matter. Requiring you to do a drug test before your marriage does not mean that they have stopped you from marrying or your partner from marrying. They're just exposing your lifestyle to your partner. So the person proceeds with the choice. It's just like our blood genotype test. If you do it, some people still say that they are far. I've already told them that in their future, their child can never die. That they cannot born sickle cell. And they proceed. And some people get lucky. Some people are unlucky. Nobody is telling you who to marry.
Right. Can I read these tweets? Why you are at it? Because why they are
coming for the marriage act.
Can I read this tweet? It says,
by who?
Tonte Ibikialabo says, if the NDLA can make such a proposal, it should cut across all politicians to hold public office, cause some politicians are high on drugs. It doesn't affect, if it doesn't affect them, it shouldn't stand. And I want to even help him. Before you go for public office,
very important.
All from up
to down.
All of them should take drug tests.
I agree.
All of them. Why, let me finish. Why are they targeting poor young people who want to just start out their lives?
And the real problem is actually many of our politicians actually do.
Yes, we do that, but let's not make it.
And if it is even the Goro.
No, I don't think. Why can I understand your argument, but I also do not think that this is targeted to stop young people who are about to start their lives. Yes. The NDLEA boss says that if this menace, this drug abuse menace is curtailed, 50% of the crime that is carried out within our country would take that away. That's
so
one.
They should go and curtail
Secondly, there's a large percentage of young people who consume these drugs.
Very sad.
And these young people, they're in schools, so which is why I believe that they should be tested in schools. They are getting married as well.
Miriam, if you had said schools, I will not argue.
I think this is, to be fair to the NDLEA boss, this is just a number of many other things that he's been doing. And this is just something that he's saying. We're talking to all stakeholders, and parents and youth are stakeholders in this fight against drug abuse.
Right.
I do not to see that there's a legal way of asking people to do a drug test before marriage. But I also understand why, as a parent, it will give me some sort of satisfaction that I know that my child is not going to end up with a drug
let me
user.
take this call. I'm told I have a caller. Good morning. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, my name is Johnson, and I'm a first-time caller.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'd like to contribute to what we're talking about this morning.
Go ahead, please.
And I want to take the side of Nima this morning.
Okay.
I agree totally that couples should take tests. Some of the violence that we see around these days is actually due to some people that are already on drugs. And if we're talking about fundamental human rights, when I want to marry in church, they ask me to take pregnancy tests, they ask me to take HIV tests. Is that also not amounting to infringing on my fundamental human rights? So if we're talking about rights now, we should look at rights holistically. But I want to say that it's also good. Even driver's license, some of the accidents on the road, it's also due to drugs. Yeah. Some people will tell you that they take kai every morning before they can drive. That is not good for us. So I agree absolutely that couples should take tests. It does not amount to infringing on human rights at all. I don't see it like that.
Thank you very much.
Rather, it's when...
So, YK, there's a question here for you, YK. Somebody says that, what if when you want to travel and they insist that you take a drug test before traveling to their country, would you count that as a infringement on your rights?
It depends on if I really want to go to the country. You see, maybe if I want to travel to Saudi Arabia, they can ask me to do a drug test. I will not go to Saudi Arabia. It's true. It's not, when I'm thinking of where I want to go in my life, Saudi Arabia is not one of those places. So if that's the law in their country, it's fine. It is not the law here. Now, to answer him, if you say you want to go for a driver's test and say a driving license and they say take a drug test, I understand that. Yeah.
So the issue is the fact that it's for married couples. That's the problem.
First and foremost, married, the drug people that I see, hardly half of them don't get married. More than half of them don't get married. They're too high to get married. That's number one. So, are you really tackling the problem? Now, the problem is there is a drug problem in Nigeria. It is not, even, some of them, are already in the marriage.
Then they start.
True. So what do? You go and enter their married home. All married people here, that look like you're on drugs. Start taking drug tests. Come on.
So that's not the solution.
Right. I'm saying solve the problem from the root.
Yes.
Don't go and start infringing on my fundamental human rights. To start saying, before I marry, okay, when I'm married, and I start taking drugs, are you going to come and collect me from my marriage and make me do a drug test?
Okay, so, Binema, let me come in.
I would love that. It's even the test and the consequence of the test, positive outcome of the test is that the NDLEA also arrests and prosecutes anybody that they see or find a sample of that drug in their system. In domestic violence cases, about 50% of the cases are drug-based as well. So you find a couple in their home, the wife will be saying, I have never, even when we're dating, some people date 9 years and they never do see their partner in such an, because the person has perfected the lifestyle.
What if he started it after the marriage?
No, I'm saying some people have perfected the lifestyle of lying and they lead double lifestyle very well. Now, the marriage registry, especially the one in Ikoyi, cannot do more than come and apply for form. You apply for form, they give you the license, you go ahead and you marry. They cannot regulate in any way. This will be one of the many things they could do to ensure that, they curb domestic violence within marriages as well. Okay. I'm not saying that all the cases will come out positive. I'm saying that once they have, they can then proceed and advise the couple. Let me finish. They can proceed and advise the couple on how they will proceed. So if it is the choice of the girl to marry a clear drug abuser, the person can continue.
That the NDLEA man has not even touched the root. He should now start entering marriages. He should enter Moriah's house.
It is not his call.
Enter Moriala's house, do drug test. Enter Miriam's house, do drug test. Because if let me finish. Since it's not against the fundamental human rights, they should now, in fact, individually go to married houses, knock on the door. Everybody in this house come out, I want to do drug tests.
Okay. It's because they're not.
That's what you're saying.
Let me take Oladipo's call.
That is what you're saying.
It's because they're not.
So you agree that they should do that?
I agree they should proceed.
Okay.
They're fighting. Anything they need to do to fight drug.
Let me take Oladipo. Oladipo, are you there?
Oladipo is laughing.
Yes, I am.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
It's a pleasure to talk with all you ladies for the first time.
Thank you.
You guys do an excellent job, and I like the way you reach out to the whole of Nigeria and the world at large.
Thank you.
Lima, it's also a pleasure to meet you. I mean, I'm a lawyer, and I'm quite. I'm not. I just became a lawyer not long ago. But in contributing to what you're talking about, I think first of all we have to know where we're coming from, because we might not be compared to developed countries where they have good measures where they detect crime and all this wrong, or people that disobey the rules of engagement of a country or of a body or any organization. So I think drugs has done a lot of damage. In our rural areas, we see people taking drugs. Newborn babies have to inhale these things, and a lot of things is like as if nobody is watching over this wrong act. We even see the use of tramadol and many other things. So it's excessive. And if we as a people gather and say, okay, even if we need to help assist the police to detect these wrongs, like, okay, let's use this medium that, okay, since people are getting married, then they should be checked before they do this. It will help to reduce this or to detect how many people do these wrong acts. And it might aid us as a people. And on the side of whether it's infringing on human rights, I won't say so. Because I remember many of my colleagues when we were out of school and they got employment with the government, they had to take a series of tests before you are accepted for the job. And some of them, most of them were health tests. They had to do a medical checkup in the hospital to be sure that you are...
That is for a
for
job.
a job. Yes, for a job.
If I apply for a job and they want to do my blood tests, it is within their rights, because they are the ones paying me and I'm working for them.
No, I'm just to the point that
what I'm saying is
we do series of tests for a particular essence. Now we said you want to get a job and you have to do series of tests, even for the military, the police, or even the Lagos state jobs.
That's fine.
And then you have to do one or two other stuff. And now we're now saying about marriage now. Before you come to the marriage registry, you do a series of tests. I don't see what's wrong with that.
Okay,
I don't see how that is.
I see.
Thank you. So that's fine. So let me continue.
One of the other things also, when you look at this particular suggestion that he's made about parents asking people to do a drug test, would be to what end would a drug test before marriage, what would it bring about? For me, it would just be maybe for collecting data, really. Because if you're already a drug user, it may not necessarily stop the marriage from continuing, but it will make you aware of who it is that you're getting into partnership with. So for that purpose. But if we're talking about for the purpose of stopping the use of drugs, it has to be a different approach, which is the suppliers, and in places where it matters, their schools, their jobs. I've seen videos of where drug tests are taken out on teachers randomly. You just come into school because teachers, randomly done, so that when you realize that you could get in trouble for using it, then you will not buy it, and then the supplier has nobody to sell to.
There was an accident on the Kaduna. It was in the papers today in the Kaduna Expressway where two cars collided. Now, if you check the blood of those people, they were probably on drugs. Now, if you say you are an NDLA boss and you say, all drivers, especially commercial drivers, take drug tests, 100%. I will agree with him.
I support that one.
You know how,
because they are dangerous to the society.
That means we'll not have drivers.
They are taking people's lives in their hands.
You know how when you're arrested abroad, they made you do this DUI test where you have to walk on a straight line just to test how you can actually.
I've seen where they're even doing it.
Now, so YK, so let us be sure. So YK is not against us doing tests. Our issue is that it's for that marriage portion, because it is not going to be reflective of solution.
Yes.
It is
You're not solving the problem. You're only giving advice. So if you give a general advice, okay, let us try to see family members. So for your own information, FYI, do a drug test for your children. That's your business, but don't make it a law. Don't make it
what kind of law is that?
How do you make that a law?
Okay, excuse me, Miriam, Nima, you find out that they are taking drugs. What is the solution? You are going to lock them up?
You won't allow them to get married?
You not? Excuse me, when you are attacking this poor young couple who probably are not even taking drugs because the drug ones are walking around freely to continue to take their drugs, you are leaving the drivers. You didn't even open your eye and say, all commercial drivers from now on will take drug tests.
That will be powerful.
That will be very
That will be very
Before you
I will not sit here and complain. I will say, well done.
Let's take tweets.
Okay, let's take a few tweets.
Before you take the one that supports you, let me take the one that supports you.
Let me take this call. Let me take the call. I have a call from Imo State.
See, let us lose call now.
Hello, are you there? I think we lost that call. Oh my goodness.
I beg, let me take tweets.
Nima, let me start with Nima, please.
So Brainbox says the idea of drug tests before marriage is misplaced priority. What about those that start taking drugs after getting married? What happens thereafter? We should learn to deal with cause of issues instead of dealing with the symptom. Henry MD says recreational drugs has a limited half-life in the blood system, meaning that someone who takes such a drug can test negative depending on when the test was conducted. If someone abstains from drug for 2 days, of course, his test will be negative.
I think all sounded...
He did not let me rest, as in tweet after tweet. They make a law to test people involved in domestic violence. Testing those about to marry is government overreach. You owe it to represent yourself and kids to prevent government from taking away basic rights.
For once, Ehi is on my side. He said no.
Ehi is always on your side.
Akashat Zibiri. Ajenikuti is right. Government has no legal ground to test you for drug unless there is a reason to suspect you of using. What have you to hide? This is how dictatorship starts. If you are concerned about something test, those you arrest.
Okay, I have a tweet here. Somebody said, okay, go ahead, Mara, please.
So Owambe Tribe says, I agree with YK. Wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime occasion. The test could be a criteria at different institutions. Office, school exams, driver's license, visa interviews, and not at a wedding. It should be carried out seasonally and not once at such institutions. Bishop Adamu Ahmed says, what if the intending couple both take drugs and are comfortable with that? To what end would the test be then? Will they be locked up or forbidden from their union?
Let me take this call from Chuks in Atlanta. Come to you, Nima. Chuks from Atlanta, are you there?
Yeah,
Chuks, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I appreciate your contributions. But today, I want to find Fala's daughter. Testing. People before marriage, it's a mixed priority. I think it's key to make money. I don't know. I want to say that you guys are good. It's going to be good work. The issue of drug testing is good for our country, but it is a skill, or it is I think to be targeted for marriage. It is not important. Go to the source of your religion.
It's hard to hear you, Chuks. I'm really having trouble hearing you.
I know that he's on my side, so God bless you.
Okay, don't worry, everybody's on.
I know some people don't.
There's no competition, YK. We're just having
competition.
People are sharing their views, and they must share their views.
So because he's on my side, I say God bless you.
Okay, no problem.
The person that is not on my side, if I don't talk to them now.
See them, they are here.
So bless them.
Ibrahim Alashela says it's good to ascertain the status of your partner so as to have foreknowledge of the person you will live with. I don't want to wake up. People like us who don't cut wake up by somebody that has pretended all his life We just wake up the person.
That's you that you don't got.
Do drug test for the person.
Let me take this from
you that you even went to go and look for someone that is taking drugs. You didn't open your eye to know.
How will you know now? You will look for the person. How will you know?
Let me take this.
Even the ones
that means you have innate ability to take drugs. If
Let
you
me take this comment.
find someone taking drugs.
If
Ifeoma sent me this comment, she said that no institution regulates marriages, so that policy cannot stand. Taking tests before marriage is not a root solution. I can stay off just because of the purpose of the test.
Let me just add one point. Maybe there's something that we're not looking at. Okay, you understand we have different cultures and different ways that we live our lives. There's still a culture where a lady is giving out in marriage, so her parents give her out. She's not necessarily like the rest of us, where she grows up, she makes her decisions and things like that. A boy child is picked up from one side, and the girl child on the other side, and they have arranged that when you eventually go, you are going to give your child in marriage. That could also be a particular demographic that they are looking at and they are speaking to.
Miriam,
let me take this call.
If the two parents decide to do drug tests for their children, that is fine. That is the two parents. It's not government that is going to come and tell me to do drug tests for my child now.
Point taken. Let me take this last call. Adembaya from Macaulay. Adembaya Macaulay from the UK. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning, ladies.
You're live. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, ladies. God bless you for the topic.
Thank you.
To start with, the drug thing plaguing our country is a massive one. And everybody on the design line sit down and come up with a super holistic approach towards it. The NDLA should start from schools, not just schools, from even primary schools, to ensure that our people don't go into drugs. That is one. Secondly, all our political class should be tested for drugs. Some of them are on drugs. Nobody is talking about them. Most of them are on drugs, our political class. We should start with them. Talking about marriage, I do not think the issue of marriage should actually come in. The drug is eaten into the fabric of our society. As for the daughter, I appreciate what you are doing. I appreciate your concern about human rights. But we are more into different problems than thinking about human rights at this moment. It's serious. It's very serious. We should be serious about this. Honestly, if I'm in government, we do more other things than this. Take, for instance, cannabis. Cannabis takes 30 days in somebody's blood. 30 days. And then some cannabis take over 6 months in your hair when you smoke it. I work in the correctional center, so I'm a drug officer, so I know what I'm talking about. It is deeper, it is more serious. There are other synthetic drugs that our youth are taking. Look at, there's what they call Chinese capsule and all those things in the north. The one they sneak and those youth. Those are the problems of Boko Haram, and our government is not doing anything about it. So it is more than that. God bless Nigeria.
All right, we have to wrap up.
And
I just want to say one thing.
Marriages are regulated even by law. We have our Child Rights Act regulating age of marriage. We have other laws regulating, and we have other forms of captured forms of regulation of marriage. Just like the caller that mentioned that in churches and some religious places, you are required to do certain tests and even virginity tests in some places before marriage. So marriages are regulated, and you will see the head or leader of that place advise the couple not to marry, not to proceed, or the choice of the person they want to marry.
If they want to do virginity tests, is it the pastor that will disvirgin you to know?
You go and do medically. Ask, I will answer you.
Why must you use pastor? Can't you use imam?
Medically,
can't you use something else? Or your creator, whatever it is you watch.
I don't know how. Why can't you
please, I have to wrap up on this. I have to wrap up on this topic. We need to wrap up.
Let's wrap up.
I just want to say,
wait,
I'm not against
we've heard you
drug tests.
Don't mind that.
I'm not against it at all.
After the show, come and beat me. I've said my own.
I'm just saying, please, go and test first. Start with your politicians.
Yes, okay. Very important.
Then the drivers.
Yes.
Pilots.
Yes.
Why? 2 young people who are just starting out their lives. Okay, what is the solution? You test
point taken. Let's take a few tweets and then we run off.
John Bernadette says, I agree with Nima on this. So I need to take one. Anyway, Margarita says, drug-free certificate as a requirement before marriage is not a guarantee that parties involved will not decide to do drugs after marriage. That should be the least of our problems in this country at the moment. There's just so many, and all of them share the same sentiments, which is this drug problem could be something that would start in marriage as well. So many people do not think that.
Okay, we have to wrap up on this.
We have to wrap up on this.
Go and catch them. But we must remind ourselves that the objective is to get people's views, no matter how different
I'm just very passionate about my
I can see that. I can see you're very passionate.
I'm very passionate because
let's go on a break.
This is how they will just continue to infringe on our rights till one day I will see that before I walk, I must ask, left or right? Which step should I take? Please.
All right, let's go on a break. We have to wrap up on this. When we come back, asking for leniency for these past governors who have been convicted. That's our next topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. I wonder why YK is so passionate about this
drug
matter.
You're not well.
This drug matter.
Let me just. Your house, they're coming to do the first drug test.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So, over the weekend, 2 of the 3 senators representing Plateau State in the National Assembly, Jonah Jang and Estefanos Giang, canvassed for state pardon for former governor and senator Joshua Dariye, who was convicted of criminal misappropriation and criminal breach of while serving as governor between 1999 and 2007. They have since been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment since 2018. The senior parliamentarian also pleaded for similar gesture to be extended to convicted former governor of Taraba State, Joe Lunyami. Now, what are your thoughts on this? You can call us again on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. The reason we're having this conversation is because the layman is out there in the prison convicted for similar offenses, either fraud, either crime, or even less. And they don't have anybody pleading for leniency. In fact, even if they have their families pleading, they don't have the opportunity to have parliamentarians or senators, big men in the society pleading their cases. So is this fair? That's really the conversation. Should the National Assembly consider these leniency requests? Is it the right thing to do at this time when we're trying to enforce the rule of law and reduce corruption in our country? And I'd like the ladies to start. Mariam, go ahead.
Yeah, hearing this for me is just all shades of wrong and quite embarrassing as well, that these 2 people who are well known in the society in Plateau State put their names to something like this. You know, I also didn't want to also make any general statement, but I called a few people that I know that live in Plateau State, live in Jos, are involved in politics, and everyone says, why would he do that? Especially Jonah Jang, who used to be a governor as well. And many of the people who, you know, and one of the things that comes from this is it because Jonah Jang also has a case with EFCC, and he's hoping that when his own time comes, somebody is going to stand up for him and beg on his behalf. Right now, when they talk about begging on the behalf of someone who was a political holder and has been convicted of corruption, they would say, oh, he's from this place. Oh, it's because he's the son of the soil. He's one of us. He's of this religion. And what they do is they deliberately do that. When you do that, it's so that you make people from that area think, oh, it looks like we are specifically and deliberately victimized by government, instead of making it about the crime that this person has committed against all the people that live in that state. Is it fair that monies that were supposed to go into your schools, your teachers, your hospitals, your roads, your housing, and that was taken over by one person and he shared it amongst with himself and his cronies, and then today someone says, oh, he's getting along in age, he's not feeling too well. Meanwhile, crimes that you have committed, nothing close to what he's done, and you are in prison. Your children are in prison for so long. Nobody's begging on their behalf. I think it is wrong, and I think it's very embarrassing. And I actually think that they deserve to give the Plateau State indigenes an apology for what they have started.
Plateau girl.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's
to help you, they should also probe that guy that is asking for the pardon.
Leniency.
They should probe him to whether he too has skeletons in, because I don't understand why you go and ask for pardon for those people.
So
I don't understand. And they should test them for drugs, all of them.
Yes, they should test them. That one I agree, because he has to be on drug for them to even ask for this leniency in the first place. You cannot ask for leniency in your normal eye. Your normal eye. You have to be on a higher level, spiritual level. Right. But it's painful that, you know, in this country, it's party that gets us ruined. Yeah. So you just need to have party. It's also good to have friends like you, guys that know people that, so in case I get in trouble, people can ask for plea bargain for me. It's painful. We had a situation of Delta State when we debated it here, that we said that Delta people did not ask for their money. Because the other people just thought the big men are not asking for the money. Imagine a sitting governor saying, we lost money, your money lost, that kind of thing. And they did not look for their money to the tune of that amount of money that only one portion is 43-something thousand pounds, million pounds. So we know that when we finally do successfully prosecute one powerful person, not talk of two of them, successfully, that even the Supreme Court did not give them any form of escape when they finally appealed all their appeals. We should leave that one case as an example, because we are trying to dissuade minds from going criminal. Yes. People sit in offices and not only steal money, make sure that there's a circle of influence around the money they've stolen. So that's why you can have a Jonah Jang and what's his name, Gang, go on and say, please, let's give these people leniency, because they are in that circle. All of them did the same thing. I was able to escape. My friend did not escape. And I have nothing to lose if I don't ask. In China, for instance, there are cronies and the ole and the cronies, because now it's established that they stole. They've been convicted for it, and they've exhausted their appeal. They didn't get, an acquittal. So they are ole. Ole and the cronies will pay for it in other countries. Yes. You will not even want to be associated by mistake or by this kind of statement with one.
Yes, thank you. You wouldn't want to be publicly associated with people like that. Let them not say that.
That's why I said they should test him for drugs.
He has to be on.
Let me take this call from Alhaji Subara. Your mouth, Mikey. Alhaji Subara, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm right.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. I don't blame. I don't blame the senator. Yeah. The reason why I don't blame the senator is this. You see, it's like there's a kind of precedent that is happening. So, and that is why the senator is talking that way. Somebody like Buhari, the former governor of Delta State, he did the same thing to a state. What happened to him? He's working majestically in the state.
In the state.
So what I would say, so if the senator is appealing for leniency for that man, it's okay. But by and large, these are the people that are making Nigerians to be suffering. You see, these are the people that is eventually making Nigerians to be suffering today. Minimum wage of 30,000 naira they cannot pay, and some people are eventually billions. Yes. You understand? So, but I condemn the attitude, but at the same time, there's a precedent. If Buhari is working majestically, in this country, nothing is done to him. Thank you very much. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much.
I totally agree with him.
Yes.
So if you talk about
that's another argument that you'd hear, where they would use it and they would go to a particular state and say, the reason your own case is different, they are particularly victimizing you. See what happened in Delta State. He's walking, he's walking about
tribal conversation.
Yeah, so you make it an ethnic conversation. That is not what this conversation is about. What the conversation should be is, we should make sure that even in Delta State or wherever else is happening, where people have gotten away with it, they have made, we all come out as one Nigeria and fight that, for justice, and make sure that those who have committed a crime should be jailed and should spend the amount of time that they need to spend in jail. If Buhari spends some time outside the country, why is it that it's always outside the country? People who are not Nigerians that will make sure that they prosecute people who have committed crimes against us, so Nigerians taking our money outside to spend, and they do the work for us, and then when they come back home, all the yes, you get chieftaincy titles and all this.
It's in our record that a former governor of Bayelsa State was able to disguise and escape a country where he would have been convicted. Yeah. When he got here, when he got a conviction, he was pardoned. In fact, it was made a requirement that the president at the time pardons just before. I think, re-election, so that, you know, people in that state will see the person as so-called. And we continue to abuse power like that. And it is our politicians, the political elites now, not just the person in office. Even if I thought it was a bad thing, people around me will say, it's a good move, it's a move. So we know some people who moved with their state funds to the party in power.
You can see why people don't believe.
So it's about moves.
You talk with two sides of your cheeks. Let me take this call and I'll come to you, YK. Kelechi's been calling in from Abuja. Kelechi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please. You're live.
All right, first and foremost, I want to really appreciate you people for this unprecedented program.
Thank you, sir.
Obviously, my name is Comrade Kelechi Ezeji from Abuja.
Okay.
I'm highly ashamed for Jonah Jang and his learned colleague for trying to find a way to cover this obvious corruption. A corruption is a corruption. Conviction is a conviction. As a matter of fact, there are some corruption that involves a lot of life. Some persons lost their life because of that corruption. So trying to solicit for a leniency for these people is quite conspicuous. That is looking for a way to cover those who will cover him up in future. We have ordinary Nigerians who are suffering for what they know not in the prison, in police cells, and nobody is saying anything about the leniency in their case. And now, a lawmaker, a former lawmaker, someone who is well recognized, is coming up to say this kind of thing. I am highly disappointed.
Thank you very much.
So sorry to say that.
Thank you very much, Comrade Kelechi, because I think that's the crux of this conversation. We have Nigerians who have not done, many of them, they just arrest, they'll say allegations, and they've been in prison for 5-6 years. They're there, rotting away. Nobody's fighting for them.
They've caught them for
wandering, or because they have dreadlocks, for all sort of things. And here you are, a man who has been convicted by the court of law. So he's actually supposed to be there. He has only served 2 years, I think it was 2018.
Yeah,
so far, 2 years.
Yes.
And they stayed it for 10 years. You didn't even wait like 8 years. Okay, that were almost like 55 years.
They said the prisons are congested, he has bad health.
Yes, it's not
so
feeling
what?
well.
Why didn't he do the prison when he was there?
Did they do prison?
There's prison hospital.
No, why didn't they make the prison
Did they do prison?
a place to stay?
Conducive for them.
Conducive.
Since they are still...
So when they start locking all of them, you know what? They will make sure the prisons are nice. Since they know that they are all going to enter there when they live there. Because I don't understand them.
Let me take this tweet
before you take the tweet, I wanted to say something. I think that as a people, we need to even stop hailing these politicians when they have money.
Yes.
Because they are when they are giving us money, their handouts, it is our money that they have embezzled that they are giving us. So when we are hailing Anibori and you say, no, it is our money that he has taken. So don't hail him. If you like, collect it. I will collect it. I will know as I'm collecting his pay. I will still pocket the money.
Okay, this is debatable. Yeah, and let us not throw it out there like that.
I'm not saying
there are people who actually steal resources, but we call them thieves, but they have not been convicted.
I know. Have I called
is the one they convicted?
Yes. Have I called anybody?
No, you have not.
What I have said is that when they are giving us, we should remember that is our money.
What if it's money that they worked for?
Who? No politician work for their money. Let me take this tweet.
I didn't call any name. Did I call any name?
Let me take Ayola. I'll come to you, Nima. Let me talk. Ayola, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. The late MP Rakala said, any nation that does not do justice can never know peace. What we are experiencing in this country is because of total injustice that are thriving in the land. The topic you discussed earlier before this, I want to remind us that the former AFC boss, Farida Waziri, once asked our politicians to do their psychiatric test. What did they do?
they ask for our head. So asking the to-be couples to do tests, I mean, difference anyway. But I want to emphasize that whatever we want to do in this country, for us to take it very seriously, it has to start from our leaders. Our leaders are so much take us for a fool. And sometimes when we say it's a problem of followership, I think it's truly the problem of followership, because we are not asking for our rights. I think this is the right time to do that. That any leaders that have betrayed our trust, we have to deal with that leader decisively. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Exactly what I'm saying. If they are giving you money, just look at it as your money.
Hey, but you know psychophants is a terrible thing. So as you are collecting money, you say, Baba, Baba, Baba. You are already hailing the thief. You know you are collecting thief money. You not collect and go out. And the, hey, swans in the air, swallow for only you. You know, that's why the people that will hand over the money on their behalf, when they see you, they are coming next and say, don't mind him. You know?
Should I show you how they
you know you will not
Let
get
me show
again.
you how they when they Baba.
No, you
Toilet
know
for
two
you.
hand up. Two hands up. So, Babs Adeola says,
that is taking your money.
You see, this country na scam. Why would they even be talking about that instead of death sentence for corrupt politicians and wicked people? And he said God will judge.
Yeah,
I would expect that, you know, because they were senior, I think, what's his name? The one for Plateau was this was the predecessor to Darie, Jonah Jang.
Yes.
He was the predecessor. He succeeded.
Yes.
That he came after him.
Darie.
So because he was the successor to him, he will be calling for stiffer penalty. He will be saying that this crime, you know, cost the lives. He will be calculating the numbers, as she said, the number of hospitals that the money could have been diverted to, that you know that they couldn't build, the number of roads, and the number of children who couldn't access proper health, that you know that lost their lives because of this. Just as the president said in fighting corruption, it was the number of people that the former NSA's actions and inactions forced them to lose because he refused to buy the weapon they needed and diverted the money, and because of those lies, that's why they are fighting him so much. Till date, they've not obeyed any court order. That should have brought, you know, these people talking ask for even life sentence or even death sentence for this kind of crime.
Why? The reason why I don't want you to generalize, because there are some politicians that actually come into politics after they've made their money. Some people make money. So they give you money, it's not because they've stolen money from the coffers of the government. Some of them are giving you from their own actually resources.
I'm not saying that. So I'm not saying all politicians. But we know that the larger percentage.
You don't know why.
And some people who brought in their money make double of the money that they brought in.
So if I'm stealing your money, at least I can be giving you money from the one I made before I came into the office.
This is the problem.
So let's not assume.
The problem.
Okay, so Moray is saying if you were not
what I'm saying is, if you are stealing my money, if you are stealing not my own personal money but Nigeria's money,
yes,
and you are giving me inside, I will say thank you, but inside my mind, I will say,
because
that's what I'm saying.
The problem
but
is
can I just take
cost of
some
political
tweets?
office in Nigeria.
Can I take some tweets?
The cost of running
I have to call the caller first before I take a tweet. Shola, are you there?
Yes, I am.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for allowing me to join your view this morning. I like your program.
You're welcome, madam.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So this topic you are talking about this morning about the lawmakers trying to, solicit for their peers. I found it an insult. Insult to us as Nigerians. These are people that are put in position of trust. They are supposed to be the chief executive of that state. They are in position of trust, both in security and providing every amenities for their people. And here they are stealing that money. And how dare their cronies standing up in the Senate to say that they should give them amnesty? I find it unbelievable. A lawmaker here in the UK did a driving offense and lied. And she lost her seat. She even went to prison for just lying over ticketing. The only driving offense she did was that she did speeding offense, and then she went to jail and lost her seat. And then we are talking about people stealing money. And this is the government that came with the promise of fighting corruption.
Thank you,
Which
Shola.
corruption are we?
Thank you. See, Shola made a valid point also, because we also say, remember, we've been reminding Nigerians that if there's anything you want to get from this show, is the reminder that the importance of the lawmakers that we vote into office. We're all there focusing on presidency, because if the lawmakers are not aligned with the government saying we are fighting corruption, and here you are trying to solicit for the leniency of a convicted criminal. So that means that you're not aligned. You're not aligned with corruption.
Because he's convicted.
Yes.
Because they are convicted.
Yes.
You know, it's not the one that we are assuming that they stole money.
Thief, not thief.
You know, these ones are convicted. You know, you understand?
I just also wanted to...
but can I just read a couple of tweets? Silver Squad says, I totally disagree. The plea for pardon for these convicted governors. If they are pardoned because of their status, then it sends a strong and negative message to the youth that you can get away with whatever if you steal to be rich and powerful. Edwin says, I think they should ask for state pardon for Evans, the kidnapper, too.
Hey! Since we're now being silly, I just wanted to say...
No, but
that
that's what they're saying.
Yeah. So, you know what is so sad about Plateau State? I mean, for those who have been and for those who have heard how beautiful that state is, the natural resources that that state is blessed with. I mean, if these monies... I remember when Jare came, his theme for his government was re-engineering the plateau. He was supposed to take it from where it was, and you know, there was just like a plan of where he was taking it, and all of a sudden it went, you know, all the money went away.
Take it.
What they would have done with that money, what it would have meant, it would be every time everybody comes to Lagos and they're happy about all the beautiful things that's happening here, all the construction, all the development that's happening here, but it's not happening in Plateau State. I was just talking to my auntie the other day that every time I go to Jos, it's as if I just left. There's hardly anything new that's coming up, hardly any new development, and it's unfair. These are hardworking people, these are well-educated people, these are people that are willing to sacrifice so that their state looks good. And then you come as a governor, as a senator, or whatever you are, you take all the money, you go away, you share it with yourself, and then you come and be asking people to forgive you.
You come and build a house in Abuja and Lagos, pay license charge to the states that you have stolen money. Worst case, you take the money to the UK. You keep it in a fixed account. The UK government, after taking the interest, send us back the money. It's so painful.
You see, the worst part of this matter that you said, Jos, I used to hear when I was a kid of how beautiful Jos was. So not only has it not gotten better, it has reduced because it was a beautiful... Do you remember Yankari Game Reserve? Wasn't it there?
Yes.
But it's all part of the... It's all part of what I'm saying. We had things...
the climate,
I used to hear
the weather.
As a kid, I go to Yankari Game Reserve. Now, you can't go there. In fact, the lions are so hungry, they will eat you.
I talk about my mates that we are graduates. Is in Plateau State, you see full graduates who are doing real physical farming. They are growing, strawberries, they are growing all sorts of crops that you would otherwise be importing. They are growing them. I mean, they've gone to school where they will be asking to sit in an office for a job that they only sign, but they're doing hard work. Please, these people don't deserve this.
I agree with you.
So
we have to run, but I think the people have spoken. Nigerians have spoken. Nigerians have spoken against this move by the lawmakers for the former governor of Plateau State. I think lawmakers should take it very seriously. And it's not a joke, and just like Mary said, it's an insult to the people, because we hardly get convictions for these kind of powerful men. We hardly. These cases, they drop for like years, 14 years, 20 years. These two small ones that we have conviction, that we are even still happy about, please, they should not approve this leniency that they're asking for. Yes,
and can we just advise the politicians to revamp the prisons? Yes. So that... if they get convicted, they don't ask for pardon. I think because the prisons are fine.
Comfortable. So please fix the prisons because you know you're likely going to be there in future. So please,
since you know that's going to be your house in the future, just revamp it. So
they should remember that prisoners, because they used to condemn them and think they were untouchable. They should remember that those prisoners also still have rights even though they're in prison. And the EFCC should please complete their investigations on the tenure of these two senators that are calling for leniency.
They have skeleton in their cupboard.
No, they have to have.
and that's all we have. And the NDLE should test them for drugs.
I agree.
YK, okay, today was your show.
It's YK that made the time. I did not even know.
Today was
I was
YK's
waiting
show.
for time to talk.
I have to run. That's all we can take on the show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.